Some roads don't take you anywhere. They just wait for you. And some nights, the darkness doesn't sit beside the highway. It leans closer, like it's trying to recognize you. If you've ever driven long enough to feel the world flatten into one endless black line, you already know this. The highway isn't empty. It's awake. And it remembers who passes through it. Tonight's story comes from one of those roads. I was hauling freight through a forgotten strip of interstate the locals call the Dead Run. Winter nights always make the world feel heavier, but that stretch of road, it felt hollow, like someone had scooped out all the life and left nothing but a cold echo. Snow drifted across the asphalt in thin waves, soft and static-like. My headlights cut through the flurries, but the darkness on both sides felt thick, like a wall pressed right up against the truck. Even the engine sounded muffled, as if the night was swallowing the noise. Just before mile marker 211, something flickered at the edge of my vision. A shape near the fog line. Too quick. Too vague. Gone before my brain could decide whether it had ever been there. I chalked it up to fatigue. That's what the road does when you've been awake too long. It starts nudging shadows into places they don't belong. 10 miles later, I saw him. A lone figure walking along the shoulder. Thin. Rigid. A pale jacket washed out by the headlights. The posture was all wrong, stiff, mannequin-like, the kind of stance you see in store windows, not on a deserted highway. I passed him without slowing. Another 10 miles. Nothing but snow and darkness. Then, there he was again. Exact same distance apart. Exact same posture. Exact same dragging walk. But the snow behind him was smooth. Untouched. Not a single footprint. That should have been my first clue that the night wasn't following the rules. The sightings grew more frequent. At first, only on the shoulder. Then in stranger places. Standing beneath an overpass, motionless, like he was waiting for me. On the median, head tilted too far to one side, as if he was listening to the engine. Then once, horrifyingly, in the center of my rearview mirror, perfectly still on the road behind me. It didn't feel like I was moving through the highway. It felt like the highway was moving around me. Loops of the same mile. Same strip of cracked asphalt. Same dead trees. And always that figure. Each pass he shifted. Barely at first. A tilt of the head. A subtle angle of the feet. A slight turn of the shoulders. Then he began facing the road. Then facing the lane. Then facing me. When I saw him standing directly in my headlights, motionless, pale, waiting, something inside me cracked. His shadow stretched across the road unnaturally long, bending around the median like it had a mind of its own. I hit the brakes. The world exploded into white snow and shaking glass. For a single heartbeat, he was inches from the grill. No face. Just smooth skin where features should have been. A blank expression carved into nothingness. Then he vanished. No impact. No footprints. No sound. Only a stretch of highway I didn't recognize at all, as if the road had rearranged itself after it was done with me. I drove the rest of the night with the dome light on, refusing to check the mirrors. And now, I don't tell people I saw a ghost. I tell them the truth. The road knew my name, and it wanted me back. I was running night freight through the desert, taking a shortcut Dispatch swore didn't exist on any official map. No towns. No gas stations. Just a long, flat ribbon of asphalt cutting through black sand and jagged rock. At first, everything looked normal, quiet, empty, uneventful. But around 2:17 a.m., I passed a sign I didn't remember. No stopping after dark. Fresh paint. Perfect condition. No highway number. Just the words. 30 minutes later, another one. Then another. Each one cleaner and newer than the last. The desert around me felt wrong, too still, too neat. No wind. No dust. No movement at all. like the world was holding its breath. By 3 a.m., something strange started happening with the road reflectors. They were spaced too evenly, perfectly aligned, each one glowing faintly blue instead of white. And every time my headlights passed over them, they seemed to pulse, like they were reacting to my truck. I tried to shake it off. Night plays tricks on tired drivers. But then the odometer stopped increasing. No matter how far I drove, the mileage refused to change. Worse, the radio started picking up faint static that rose and fell with the engine RPMs, as if the road itself was breathing beneath me. I checked the GPS. Blank. Just a cursor floating in empty space. That was when I noticed the horizon ahead. The faint outline of mountains I had been driving toward wasn't getting any closer. It was like the desert had turned into a treadmill. A few miles later, I saw something impossible. A truck. My truck. Sitting on the shoulder up ahead. Same make. Same dents on the bumper. Same missing mud flap. Same faded company sticker. Lights off. Engine dead. Driver's door open. I slowed to a crawl as I passed it, refusing to look inside the cab. My pulse hammered the inside of my skull. When I checked my mirror, the other truck was gone. Not faded. Not vanished in the dark. Gone, like it had never been there. The reflectors began pulsing faster, almost flickering. The blue glows spread across the asphalt in thin veins, like cracks in ice. My tires vibrated. The entire truck shuddered. Then the CB crackled. A voice, not speech, not words, just a low, dragging hum, like something massive was buried under the road, shifting in its sleep. The steering wheel twitched. The truck drifted left. Not from wind, there was no wind, but like the road itself was pulling. I fought it for miles. The hum grew louder, vibrating the windows. The reflectors brightened until the road looked like it was lit from beneath. Then, up ahead, I saw the mountains. Closer. Too close. As if the world had suddenly snapped into place. A green sign appeared on the right shoulder. Old, rusted, real. You are leaving restricted highway. The moment my tires crossed that line, the humming stopped. The reflectors went normal. The night came back. Behind me, the road looked perfectly ordinary. Dead, black asphalt stretching into darkness. But every time I check my odometer, there's a number burned faintly into the screen. One that only appears at night. 217. The moment the road started listening. And every once in a while, when I hit a quiet patch of interstate, I swear I can hear it trying to tune itself back into my frequency. I was on mile 49 of a refrigerated haul, quiet route, no cities, no traffic, just me and the whine of the engine cutting through a pitch-black stretch of highway. It was the kind of night where the sky felt heavy, like something pressed against the clouds from above. Around 1:40 a.m., I passed a reflective mile marker. Just a normal metal post. But the reflection that flashed in it wasn't my truck. It was older. Dirtier. Like an abandoned rig left out to rot. I didn't think much of it, shadows lie at night. But 2 miles later, I saw another reflective surface. A road sign bent at an angle. Again I caught the reflection. The same old truck behind me, even though my mirrors showed an empty road. I glanced at the side mirror. Nothing there. But when I looked forward, the next reflective surface, the chrome guardrail, flashed the shape of that same decaying truck behind me. Same dents. Same rust. Same broken headlight. Always behind me. Always closer. The reflections grew stronger the farther I drove. Billboards. Mile markers. Shiny stones in the asphalt. Even the stainless lining on my own trailer walls. Every reflective surface showed that same old ghost truck tailgating me. Even though the real highway was empty. My pulse rattled the inside of my skull. I turned off every light in the cabin to reduce reflection. It didn't help. The metal latch on the glove compartment glinted, and in that tiny curved reflection, I saw the truck again. Closer than ever. Its windshield was cracked down the middle like a spiderweb. But behind the broken glass, something moved. Something sitting in the driver's seat. Something that didn't move like a human. A slow, dragging shift. Like a marionette waking up. I gripped the wheel until my knuckles went white. The next reflector I passed didn't show the ghost truck behind me. It showed it right beside me. A dead rig, windows black, front grille bent inward like a jaw. But the real road was empty. The reflections were showing me a world that wasn't here, but was trying to overlap with mine. Then my trailer lights flickered. The refrigeration unit kicked off on its own. Frost crawled across the inside of the windshield, forming patterns like tire tracks pressed into ice. The temperature dropped so fast the air felt thick in my throat. The next reflective surface I passed wasn't a sign or guardrail. It was the smooth surface of a small puddle on the roadside. And in it, I didn't see the truck. I saw myself. Or something shaped like me. Sitting in the driver's seat of that old rig. Head slumped forward. Then snapping upward. In a stiff, twisting motion. Not blinking. Not breathing. Just staring directly back at me through the reflection. I swerved so hard the tires screamed. When I looked again, the puddle was just dark water. Normal. Lifeless. But every reflective surface since that night feels different. Colder. More aware. And sometimes, when I drive past chrome tankers, I don't always see the road behind me. I see that cracked windshield. I see that old truck pacing mine. And I see a version of me that isn't alive. And never learned to stop following.